Welcome to the JAMODI podcast. We are all surrounded by amazing coaches and leaders. So let's get an inside look at not just what they do, but how they do what they do. After all, becoming the best versions of ourselves is JAMODI, just a matter of doing it. The JAMODI podcast is powered by Sideline Interactive. Sideline Interactive is the leading manufacturer for high-quality, innovative scoring tables and LED video display boards that help coaches and schools bring more excitement to fans, create huge fundraising opportunities, and make their jobs easier. Visit sidelineinteractive.com to check out their amazing products. What are some of the standards and pillars of your program that allow you to have a great atmosphere that's not built on family and also that is built on and has fun?
Yeah, I think, one of the biggest things, I got this, obviously Pete Carroll had this, I think, and then it went to Steve Kerr. And so I think I heard about it from them about pillars. And so when I took over the job at Bethel, this was probably one of the first things that we did is we sat down. I had 20 things that I felt like I tried to write down that matter to me. And I think your pillars of your program need to be something very personal to you as a coach, because if it's not, it's hard to hold to those pillars because you can't. This is a Phil Beckner. I don't know if you know about Phil Beckner at all, but unbelievable. But he always says you can't give away what you don't possess.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to pick something that was going to be very much personal to me. And so our pillars, we talk about in the beginning of the season, we really emphasize them daily. Number one is toughness. We tell guys all the time in the recruiting process, like, this is not the place that you want to come if you're the guy that has to lay on the floor when you get a bloody nose. And if you're the guy that doesn't want to dive into the scrum because you're worried you're going to get an elbow to the eye or whatever else, like, we're tough. And I think toughness is more than just physical. It's a mental thing. You can make mistakes here and all that kind of stuff, but it's your reaction to the mistake that will really get you in hot water with me. And so if you're a guy that has to hang your head and you're a guy that doesn't play hard because the shots aren't going in, then you're not going to enjoy our program. And so we want to have guys that can make the tough play, guys that can play great even when the ball's not going in the basket, and have that next play mentality. That's important for us. Competitiveness is a big deal. And I'm sure every coach probably says this, but competitiveness is huge to us, and we try to talk about it. And I probably say the word compete to our guys 20 times a day. And we want guys that really want to compete at everything that they do. I don't care if it's a shooting drill. I don't care if it's a passing drill. I don't care what it is. We are competing because that's what is fun. I think it should be fun. But that's also what life is about a little bit. And you got to be willing to compete in everything that you do. And you're competing for the promotion, you're competing for the job, you're competing against other people in everything that you do. And so you have to find a way to find some joy in that competing stuff. So one of the areas that, I love about our program that comes to competing is we talk about those guys sticking around in the summer. We'll do 6 a.m. pickup in the summer. And our 6 a.m. pickup, coaches get in and play.
Can you still hoop? Can you still play a little bit?
Well, I'm a king culture guy. That's what I tell people all the time. I'm not great at much on the court anymore, but I will communicate better than anybody out there. I promise you that. I talk a lot of trash also when I get out there, try to get under some of our guys' skin. So, but we had a really good player here who actually took his grad year and was playing at College of Charleston in Jalen Scott. Started for them, but we had some absolute battles at 6 a.m. Me and him would always go on opposite teams. And I would walk out of there really ticked off when I lost, and he would be mad when they lost, and we'd have guys getting into it. And that's at 6 a.m. in the morning. And
wow.
So, to have that be part of our culture, I think a lot of that started right there at those 6 a.m. pickups where, guys want to win. And that's a big deal to us. And I tell them, if we're playing checkers, you should be doing everything you can to win and seeing if you can, beat whoever you're playing, because that's why we do it. But the next one for us is joy and fun. I think that's a pillar of us. And you can compete really hard and want to kill yourself to win, but you also can enjoy while you do it. I think that's a big thing. I think we always get that, you have to have a game face where you're just, you're mad, you're angry and whatever else. And you can compete and have fun. You can hoot and holler and cheer on your teammate and compete like crazy. I think those things can happen the same. And so we've talked about all the fun that we try to have in our program. And the last thing is just unselfishness. When we realize that the world is not about us, is when we start to live, I think. And so for us, we want to make sure our players understand that. It's not about your minutes. It's not about your points, your shots, all that other stuff. Because at the end of the day, I couldn't name who the leading scorer was in 2012 at Bethel. I have no idea. I wasn't coaching here. I don't know who was here. But you're going to have the memories of those things, and you're going to talk about the games you won and how supportive you were, and like your teammates going crazy because you hit 5 threes in a row or whatever it is. Like, you have to be about more than yourself. Because if you're not, then we're just out here playing pickup basketball. If you ask me, you're playing rec ball. And so what makes college athletics great is you are living with the guys that you are playing with.
Yeah.
You're spending time on the floor, off the floor. We are big in shared suffering here at Bethel. I think that's a great, culture thing of conditioning stuff. And so sometimes we'll do things and you have to be unselfish, and even that, right? You got to stand up and cheer for your teammate versus sit there and think about how tired you are. Yeah. That's a selfish thing to us. And so we really try to hammer home that it's not about us. And I wish I could play everybody 40 minutes a game and give them 35 shots, but I can't. And we're pretty upfront about that stuff at the beginning when you first get here, before you even get here on the recruiting side of things. But we want guys that are all about team, all about winning, all about other people. If we have those 4 things, we feel like we've got a pretty good program.
Yeah, I love those pillars, and I can see how they work together. And I love the idea of competitiveness, but then joy right after, or toughness and joy, because you're right. Like, so many people talk about competitiveness, and you almost have to feel like you're always mad and upset. And if you're not upset or mad, then you're really not that competitive. No, I think you can be ultra competitive, but then your joy shows through. And I think that can actually even take you to, in my mind as a player, a crazier place. Like, if I actually enjoy getting hit, if I actually enjoy diving, enjoy taking on a bigger challenge, I'm going to be even more competitive. And another thing you said was at the beginning, and I think this is a challenge for coaches, is make your culture really personal to you. Because how many times do we have, I love acronyms, but we have an acronym, or we try to find something that fits this word or here or there, but those pillars really I don't live them. I don't really feel them. So to your point, you said you wrote down 20 things. This past summer, my assistants and I, we sat down, we said, what words do we actually say and use quite a bit in practice when we're talking to our players? And we created that list. And a lot of ours are similar, you and I, but I think that's a valuable, since it's the spring right now, right? I think that's a valuable tool. Is forget the acronym, what you had on your t-shirt or on the wall last year. And what do we actually say and do and live each day with our programs?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, and I kind of, I disagree with some coaches on this. A lot of them will have a theme for the year, and they'll have their one saying on their t-shirt. We don't do that. We are who we are. And we don't have a different mindset each year. We kind of just try to do the same thing over and over and over again, and it becomes easy at that point.
Completely agree. And I think too, I want our guys to have a lot of gear here. So I do motto t-shirts, I can't remember what coach said it, but like, give up control of the things you don't really care about. I don't really care what's on the back of t-shirts. So I let my seniors choose phrases. Hey, you get to choose a t-shirt. You get to do a t-shirt. You get to do. And so it's kind of cool. Like one of the guys chose know your why. Like, that's awesome. Yeah, that's a good phrase. Put it on a t-shirt.
Yeah.
They have ownership of it. I don't really care what it says as long as it's not something stupid. And then, but then too, it's like, we got more gear. Those are, but I would imagine if somebody saw that, like, oh, that must be their theme this year. Know their why. No, it's not. I agree with it. I think you should, but I like that. So this next year, we'll have our 4 or 5 colors, and they can choose to order them or not if they want.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I like that.
Thank you for checking out today's episode. Please take a moment to subscribe to this podcast, share it with your fellow coaches, and find us on social media for what's coming up next on the JAMODI podcast. It's just a matter of doing it.